It's devastating. You wouldn't think that, you see it happen around the world, but when it hits close to your heart, you really just be thinking like, did I do something wrong? Did I fail her? She didn't have the life to live that we have got to grow and live. She was only 13. So to know that somebody that I trusted, which was her father, to come through and deceive us just to get to Keimani in some sexual way or a harmful way, that hurts me to the fullest. And the point I feel like I failed her. Me as being her aunt, a person that she could run to and tell anything and everything to. That was my girl. That was my baby. And to hear all of this, to know all of this, and to be going through all this and hearing it for as long as that it went on, it's very devastating. I see so many people that are supposed to be my family that's going against my mom and me for that instance, and saying like, oh, she failed her, she had something to do with it, she had this and that. It doesn't matter at this point. For right now, and until we get justice for Keimani, it's all about Keimani. What I would like to say is there's a lot of people on the internet starting GoFundMes, and that's not what we need right now, because it's not what Keimani needs. The funeral home has objected to say that they're going to come and pay for everything, so there's no need for any GoFundMe pages, any of that. Everything is being taken care of that needs to be taken care of by her family, her immediate family.
Does it upset you that there are GoFundMes? Some of them, I think, in cases might be scams too, as well. That are going on.
What upsets me is that people are starting these GoFundMe pages and putting Keimani name underneath it, and they know that it's going to get viewed, and people have sympathy and feel some type of way about that. And some of them can be scams, but I know some of them have come from family members. When just let the immediate family handle that. Like, what y'all gonna do with the money if y'all not turning it into the funeral home? There's no need. Let us handle it. Y'all just sit back and give us the emotional support that we need. That's what we need right now. As a family, as a community, we should all come together and just give each other the emotional support that we honestly need. And that's just what I ask for everybody to, calm down, breathe. I know this is a hard time, because it's not just a hard time for y'all. This is a rough time for me. I just need y'all to come together and understand that we need each other as a community, as a family, and emotional support is what we need the most in this situation.
Yesterday the crowd was, if you were here, I'm assuming, the crowd was very upset, lots of emotions going through too, especially at this time with such a sensitive situation. We've heard multiple comments out in the crowd, attacking or pointing fingers at your mom. So, what has it been like trying her support system and helping her out?
In a way, you have to be mature enough to decide, am I going to follow along with the crowd, or am I going to, stick around with the loner? I'm to the point where I'm not following nobody. I'm going with what's right. If it was your mother, if it was your niece, would you console your mother? Would you console the person that was closest to her, who lived with her? I'm not out to have a torch and the pitchforks and all out to go against anybody except the person who did this, which I believe was her father, Darnell. I don't have any other anger pushed towards anybody else. I'm angry that this happened, but I'm angry at the person who did this.
Do you know if, have you been in contact with Tiara, the mother?
Yeah, I've been in contact with my sister. It's been briefly. It's been over through text. Like I said, I live in Indianapolis. I seen her yesterday, but that was very brief. It wasn't even more than 5 minutes. It was more or less that she wanted to show me my other niece, Kazaria, which is Keimani's youngest sister. But it wasn't like it was oh, sis, what are we gonna do, any of that. And I don't wish this on nobody. I really don't. I could, your mind go different places when it's a baby. That was a baby. Like I said, I have a very close relationship with Keimani. She was a tomboy. She wasn't out looking for, trying to be fast or, mischievous or any of that. So for her mother to come down and have all this to say and all that, Tiara, where was you for the past 4 years? We haven't seen you since Keimani TikTok party. You haven't called her. You haven't sent her anything. You haven't said, oh, baby, I'm going to come get you for a weekend. We haven't seen you until this happened. Why we got to see you when it's a tragic moment? So Tierra, where do you stand?
And Tierra lives in Cleveland, correct?
Yes.
And so the past 4 years, you're saying there's very little communication.
Very, very minimum. It wasn't even, she'll call my mom. She'll go through me and say, have you talked to mommy? And I'm like, no, about what? And she'll say, oh, well, she got custody of Keimani and she trying to get child support from me. So it wasn't that Tierra was concerned about Keimani. It was more of the why she want child support from me.
What is the relationship between your mother and your sister, Tierra?
It's very distant. They had their words. They fought. Keimani mother has a godmother that Keimani was with before my mom got her. And there was no communication then from Tierra. I feel like Tierra just let her go. Because any mother would be on her toes to get her children back. That wasn't the case here. It just wasn't.
When was Keimani taken away from Tierra?
I'll say about 7-8 months. And then Tierra godmother stepped in and got custody of Keimani, which would have been around 9 months. Yeah, and Keimani had been with that lady from 9 months all the way up until about, I say, 5.5 years ago. So it wasn't like Tierra was actually in the picture, you know, saying, hey, maybe I can start getting myself together to get my child back so nobody else can get her.
Have you ever worried for Keimani's safety with any of the family members or anyone?
I wouldn't say I was worried because I was here. I was here. Every winter break, spring break, holidays, birthdays, I was here for Keimani. Yes, you come and, you know, you enjoy time with your family, but I was here for my niece. I also brought my youngest sister and her 2 kids from Indianapolis to be here for Keimani because we've been in the system before. So I know how it feels to feel like, dang, I'm at somebody's house or not feeling not wanted. I know those feelings. So I tried to give Keimani that at all times because she's wanted and loved by her aunts. And this is just devastating that I have to go through this for the rest of my life and knowing I'll never have the embrace of my niece, the hey TT, what you doing? When you coming down here, you know, I'll never get to hear that from my baby again. And that's what kills me the most. I just wish that when I was down here last that I had just taken her to Indianapolis with me. So this would have never happened. A lot of things, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but at the end of the day, I just really wish that whatever happened and whoever did this, y'all didn't have to do that to her. There's plenty of people out here with, you know, grown people that put themselves out there to be, you know, the sex workers or whatever it may be. You didn't have to do this to a child. There was nothing that Keimani would have done to make you hurt her. So she was a very timid kid, you know, tomboyish, you know, reserved. She wasn't, you know, loud and you know, out there. So it's just devastating that that me and my family have to go through this.
Is there anything else that you would like to add at this time in the interview? Anything else that I didn't ask, maybe?
I just want people to understand that family is family, and at the end of the day, don't be so eager to go against your family. Talk to your family and talk to the children. These children may be scared to talk to the parents about things that's going on or what may be going on because they feel like they may get in trouble, but make it known that to your kids that you can talk to me. Make it very open. You can talk to me about any and everything. Because that's what these kids need to hear nowadays. Instead of going on social media and talking to somebody over social media about it, like he did this or she may done that. Talk to your family because they can handle. They're the adults that's supposed to handle it.
Our community is grieving alongside Keimani's family right now. Many at a vigil at the home where Keimani was found Monday. Steve Iwanek shares their story.
Talk to me about why this has created such a passion within you and what you want to see happen in the future for people who may be going through a situation that Keimani may or may not have been going through in her own life.
The reason why I have so much passion for this, I guess it was my upbringing. It started with my grandmother. You know, she was always telling us, if you do the right things, then you don't have to worry about anything. If you walk right, then you don't have to worry about anything. And having that upbringing, I was brought up in church. You know what I'm saying? I was not the kid that was not spared the rod. I was given the rod, okay? So I understand what discipline was all about. And I think for me is to show the love, give back to my community in a time like this, because you don't want to see it happen to another child.
This 13-year-old girl now, some people say she has found peace. I can't say that on behalf of her family. I'm just what I've read online. What do you say to Keimani right now as she's, I'll take it through my perspective of faith, she's looking down now. What do you think she is saying to her community and her family?
Keimani was never ours. She was just loaned to us. She was a vessel in a shell. She's at peace. No more hurt, no more pain, no more going through nothing. She know her Father, heavenly above, has her.
Keimani was a